Hi guys and welcome to Theme Park Parents. My name is Dan.
And my name's Holly.
Today in this video we're just going to be counting down our top 10 roller coasters from EnergyLandia.
This is a theme park that we went to fairly recently.
It was only in May, to be fair.
Yeah, last month.
This is Poland's biggest theme park. It hosts
Really
19 roller coasters altogether.
Awesome.
And on our trip we had a chance to experience 13 of them. So today we're just going to be counting down our top 10 in order from least enjoyable to most enjoyable.
And we're going to see where we differ.
Yes. Well, we sort of have agreed upon this list between the two of us, to be fair. But yeah, there's a slight sort of disagreement in certain sort of rankings, but we'll do our best to try and come together and bring you a top 10. But an honourable mentions list, these are the three that we are not including in the top 10, which we did ride, and that is Frida, Energis, and Vikings, which was just dreadful.
Vikings.
Where to start with it? It's just so painful and rickety.
I would avoid it purely because it's so painful. I actually ended up with a concussion after riding it. I would not recommend it. Not to anyone.
The other two, Frida and Energis,
they were fun.
Yeah, they're fun, but they're family coasters. We didn't get a great deal of enjoyment or thrill out of them. Not to put it in our top 10 anyway. So let's start the list off, and at number 10 we have Boomerang. This is one of two Vekoma family boomerangs in the park, and it just makes the top 10 because it was marginally more enjoyable than the other three that didn't make it into the list, to be fair. What did you enjoy about it? Sorry, the kittens just decided to join us.
It was smooth, very smooth.
Those Vekoma family boomerangs were always very smooth.
Yeah.
Always like the backwards lift hill as well. Fairly good theming because you had the station fly through.
Yes,
that was quite a good part as well.
I think most of the boomerangs you fly through the station. I think everyone you do. You fly through the station. You have to because it pulls you back.
Well, I meant the part where it goes over the station because that one's got it in as well.
Oh yes, yeah.
Not just the part where you go off the lift hill, but yeah. So that makes it our number 10 spot. At number 9 is Light Explorers. Now, I didn't actually manage to get any footage of this because the weekend was so full on and I concentrated on getting... Sorry, the dog's very needy. I concentrated on getting footage of the bigger coasters, but Light Explorers is the other Vekoma family boomerang in the park. Again, very smooth, but this one has a slighter, bigger lift hill, a bit more track length, and because it's got an out and back layout, I just enjoyed it a bit more. I had a bit more air time, whereas Boomerang is very focused on the helixes and the turns.
Yeah, I mean, I think you get... the thing that I preferred was you get nicer views because you're lower down.
That is true, yeah. The whole area is just better themed as well.
Yeah.
It is in the newer section of the park over by Abyssus and the Zamperla Disco they have over there. So it's just generally themed into that Abyssus area, to be fair. It's got the nice water, and like you said, you got the air time, and then just before you hit the spike, you dip down into a trench, which is quite a fun part.
And it's over the water as well, which is quite nice.
Yeah, so that makes it into our number 9
It was a
spot.
fun one.
At number 8, we have Choco Chip Creek. This is the Vekoma Mine Train Coaster, which opened back in 2024 as the signature attraction of Sweet Valley.
With its 3 lift hills, it was a very, very long one.
Yeah, this is a controversial one for me and Holly. We couldn't tell whether to put this at number 8 or not, or lower down.
My view of it is it's a very long coaster to be bored on. It's a whole lot of not much.
Yeah, again, it's a family coaster, so you're not going to get amazing thrills. But what I prefer about this one over the other two is the length of it. You know, it's a lot for what you queue for. So it's not just a 30-second ride. You're on there for about 3 or 4 minutes across 3 lift tours. And if you sit at the back like we chose to, you get some decent pops of air time and
you get whipped around a little bit.
So it is a bit more intense than the other two. But yeah, it's not going to make it on the sort of the proper thrill rides.
No, so as a family coaster, if you are taking young children on it, I would try and sit more towards the middle or the front. Yeah. Otherwise, they might get thrown around a little bit.
And that makes it to our number 8 spot. At the number 7 spot, we have Speed, which is the Intamin water coaster. I was thoroughly impressed by this. I really enjoyed it. It's a shame that Holly didn't as much as me, but I would have put it higher. Holly would have put it lower, so we sort of met in the middle and put it at number 7.
So I like the boat ride at the beginning. That's quite a nice little... It's a sweet bit of the ride. I like that.
Yeah.
But I did not like the lift at all.
It frightened you a bit, didn't it?
I was, in my brain, I cannot comprehend how the boat goes onto a platform. And I know that you said it's magnets and you're an engineer.
It's not magnets, it's tyres.
See, this is what I mean. I can't, it makes no sense that something so heavy and big is being lifted up on a platform and doesn't fall off. And obviously the shape of it, it goes like this on the way up. So you get tilted out and in and out before you reach the top.
Yeah.
And I felt very uncomfortable. The coaster itself, brilliant. So much fun. I love the splashes. The lift is a no-go from me.
So what I loved about this ride is it's a 3-part experience, really, because you've got the nice relaxing boat ride at the beginning, and then you've got one of the most unique lift hills out there, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Although, it was a bit eerie.
I have never seen anything like it.
But then you've got the coaster part, which is really good. It's quite broad elements. It's nothing particularly too whippy or intense, but it's just fun.
It is fun.
The name of the coaster suggests you do pick up some good speed.
You
do, especially in the rain as well. It stings your face.
Yeah.
I mean, it reaches 60 miles an hour, to be fair.
Does it?
Yeah. It's quite a fast coaster. And then obviously you've got the splashdown element, which really is a soaker, especially if you're sitting at the front or the back, because it comes over.
Not so much. The
first one's just a skim. It doesn't particularly get you wet. It's just more of a spray. But then the second one, water comes over the top of the boat. You feel like you're sinking. At the back, it all comes.
The back was not too bad.
Maybe
it was the front.
middle.
If you're sitting at the front, when you get to that last lift hill and you hit that water, lift your feet up, otherwise you are going to have soggy socks.
Yeah, the only downside to this ride I found was that because of the restraint system, you can't lift your feet up and the water does pool in the bottom.
I managed, but I've got little legs compared to Dan.
Mine was stapled to the floor and I got wet feet throughout. Anyway, that makes it at number 7. At number 6, we have RMF Dragon, which is another Vekoma coaster. There's obviously quite a few at this park, and this is a suspended family coaster, which opened back in 2016, I think, or 2017. It really is good fun for a family coaster, and it's probably say it's the most thrilling family coaster out there.
The first drop.
Yeah, the first drop
it
goes into an outward bank curve, and if you pick the right seats, which is either the front or the back, the best places you want to be, it really gives you some good airtime and some good whippy sort of transitions as well.
I think I've actually had a front row seat and a back row seat on that one. So
I think you got quite the front.
When I went on with Gina, we got in the front.
It was front row?
Yeah, front row.
Yeah, me and Ruben decided to sit at the back, just because I know, obviously, where to sit from sort of watching previous vlogs. And it didn't disappoint. It was a really fun roller coaster. It's fast and paced throughout. It doesn't really slow down. The helixes got great intensity to them. And if there's only one letdown from this ride, it's that it's a one-train operation because the brake run is in the station and there's no other block sections. So the throughput isn't the best, to be fair, but we never queued more than 15 minutes for it. We only had 2 rides on it. One was using our fast passes, and the other one, like I said, we didn't queue too much at all for it. So it was an enjoyable ride, and that makes it number 6. We're now into our top 5, and all the coasters from here are, classed as thrill extreme coasters. And at number 5, we have Roller Coaster Mayan, another controversial one because these coasters obviously are standard model being a Vekoma SLC, and they're known for being rough. But this one,
I really enjoyed it. It was so good. So when Dan told me it was a rough ride, I was like bracing myself. And bearing in mind, the first time we went on this, I had just become injured after going on Vikings.
Yeah, it wasn't the best sort of timing.
So my head was already pounding. But I really wanted to go on. I probably shouldn't have in hindsight, but I did. Yeah, that's who I am.
It didn't help that we didn't have time to recover either because we used the fast passes on this coaster. It was on about a 20, 25 minute queue. So we went straight to the front, got straight on it. Like we didn't even wait at all.
No.
So one coaster from the next. And, Vikings is a rough coaster and these Vekoma SLCs are known for being rough. So it wasn't maybe the best decision to do them together. No. But
it was
really enjoyable.
It wasn't as rickety and painful as... I thought it was.
It's got the new type of restraints which don't sit by your head. They're more of a sort of a rubber vest, and they're far less restrictive, and they're not much of a headbanger either. So when they got these new ones and it rides well, these type of coasters are very enjoyable.
There's a roller coaster in the UK that has very similar restraints that are the rubber. Is it?
I don't know if you've been on it or not, but obviously Infusion at Blackpool Pleasure Beach is a Vekoma SLC.
No, I'm just talking about the restraint system.
I'm not sure.
With the
It's probably the Swarm, yeah.
Yeah, the Swarm.
Yeah, the wing coasters have that.
Yeah, so it's quite comfortable around the shoulders.
Yeah, I guess you could compare it to that. But yeah, overall, quite an enjoyable ride. You got 5 inversions on there.
I found it really fun.
Decent speed, decent views. We got a front row ride as well, as it was just...
That was the second time we went on it,
that was the second time, the other time we decided also go to the front because that's what you got to do with these.
Yeah.
But yeah, an enjoyable ride, quite intense, and that makes it to our number 5 spot. Now we go to number 4, and that is Formula. This is one of 2 Vekoma launched coasters at the park.
So good.
This was the first one, which really put EnergyLandia on the map as sort of a thrill park. It's only got a 40-odd mile-an-hour launch. It's not massively fast, but...
It feels it. When you're on it feels fast.
It's got great pacing throughout the entire coaster. It's got, I think, 2 or 3 inversions, a couple of airtime hills. It's not a massively long coaster. It is quite short. But it's just thrilling throughout, and it's so enjoyable. It's so rideable as well. I mean, we had a front row seat, to be fair.
Yeah.
And then the second time we got towards the back, and completely different experiences.
It is really well themed as well, with the tunnel, the launch tunnel.
Yeah. Obviously, it's not got as immersive theming as something like what we see here in the UK or somewhere like Disneyland or Park Asterix. But but to be fair, it's got a nicely themed area. It's a clean ride. It had relatively good throughput. It's only got 16 passengers per train, so it's not amazing, but it does run 2 trains constantly.
What I liked was after the launch, you go straight into a loop.
The first inversion.
That was good.
Yeah, so that's our number 4 on this list. And now, which might be the most controversial decision, is number 3, because we've actually put Hyperion at number 3. This is the Intamin Mega Coaster.
I think we both have our own reasons for putting it at number 3.
Yeah, to be fair. Intamin Mega Coaster, which opened back in 2018. Second tallest in Europe, 269 feet. It's got an insane first drop. It's probably the best element on the ride. It reaches up to 90 miles an hour. You go through a tunnel, and it's just...
It goes
the speed
down
hits
underground slightly as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's got a taller drop than it does the actual height of the coaster.
Yeah.
Things we like about this coaster are the air time and the speed, especially that second part of the ride when it's just low to the ground, you're weaving in and out of all these elements. And we like the fact it's got 4 across seating and 2 of those elevated, so you've got great sort of exposure to the area around you.
Even in the low seats, I couldn't touch the floor though, so if you've got short legs, you've got no hope.
Yeah. We had one front row ride on this where you have to wear goggles because of the speed. They're all sanitised, they smell nice.
They smell really good.
It's not like you've got to share them with someone who just had sweaty face or whatever. So that's something. And the front row is an experience like no other. It is absolutely
amazing.
Insane. I loved it, to be fair. Great airtime throughout. It's only got the 1 inversion, but the speed at which you hit the brake run just makes you want a bit more.
The reason that I put it at number 3 is because I spent so much time out of my seat. I actually was fearful. I was quite fearful that I was going to come out of my seat. Also, there's a part of it where you're like literally sideways.
Yeah, you got
and I felt a little bit uncomfortable.
2 turns like that where it just whips you straight on the 90 degrees, and then 1 minute Holly's next to me here, and the next she's on top of me here. It's a really fun coaster, to be fair, and it's made it into my top 5 overall list, I think. Yeah, but it hasn't quite made it to the top 2, and that's where we will go next, and that is number 2 as Abyssus.
This was amazing right from the get-go. I rode this, and so Smiler is my all-time favourite roller coaster. It's my number 1 of all time. Until I rode Abyssus, and it very quickly overtook the Smiler, which I was surprised about.
This was the first roller coaster we went on at EnergyLandia of the first 2 days, and it was an absolute...
It was insane.
It was such a good decision to start with that one, because it just set up what was going to be an amazing 2 days for us all. But yeah, this coaster is another Vekoma multi-launch coaster this time. The other one, that was the counterpart to Formula. It's got a 60-odd mile an hour launch as the second one, but only reaches about 30 mile an hour on the first one. And the second launch is when it really gets into the intensity, because you go straight up a top hat, you've got a little trim brake, but you don't really feel it too much. And
that drop after, that is
the rest
good,
of the coaster is just full of inversions and airtime hills, and it just goes on forever. That might be our only gripe with this coaster, is that it goes on a little bit too long.
Yeah,
Some of the elements
I'd say
towards the end,
it could probably be, I would say, personally maybe 25 seconds shorter than it actually is.
That's quite a long.
No, I think 20, because it's like 3.5 minutes.
It's about 2 minutes, but I think what I would have done is just put the second launch a bit further on the ride.
We did discuss this in the vlog.
Yeah.
If they stretched out the first half and then
had the second launch a bit later on, it wouldn't feel as long, and you'd get But overall, we absolutely love this coaster. The restraints are really comfy. It's an incredibly smooth coaster. I mean, it only opened back in 2021, so you'd expect it to be smooth.
It was just really good.
Yeah, it really is good. And we rode it 3 times. We would have ridden it more, but it did have quite a queue, and I can see why, to be fair.
It was, yeah. So I think you got a front row on this one, didn't you?
Yeah, me and Gina got front row.
Yeah.
And
I think I got second row back, and then we tried towards the back as well, just to see if it was any different. I mean, for me, sitting towards the front and towards the back, it was just insane regardless of where I sat. It was really good.
Also, it's got pretty decent theming because it's in the back end of the park where all of the new section is, and it goes over water, which is always enjoyable, to be fair. Obviously, it's themed to Atlantis, being called Abyssus, and you've got the other rides in the area which are all sort of themed and immersive. And it's just a whole package experience, really. It's got the height, it's got the speed, it's got the launches, the inversions, the airtime. Loved it. But it was not as good as Zadra, and that is our number one at EnergyLandia. My number 2 overall in my coaster list, but definitely number 1 at EnergyLandia. We did this thing 5 times, but we could have done it a lot more. We rode it 3 times on the first day, and then twice on the second day.
Back to back.
Yeah. But what can we say about this coaster that hasn't already been said in our vlogs?
I think it's everyone's number 1. I think there's like a big debate between whether Zadra or Hyperion is better.
Yeah.
But Zadra is definitely our queen.
Honestly, I absolutely loved it. Because you've actually got a lap bar as well, you just feel so unrestrained and free. And obviously a lot of the coaster goes through the structure from what's above, and there's so many head choppers in there, you feel like you want to put your arms down. The near misses on it, but my favourite element on this ride is after the first drop, you've got a tiny little bunny hill, and it takes you slightly to the side, so you've got airtime, and you've also got lateral forces as well. And for anyone who doesn't know me, I love lateral forces. That's why I quite like Wild Mouse coasters. But that element was just so fun. I think yours is towards the end when you do a barrel roll into the structure, and it doesn't quite go back flat; it stays on its side.
Yeah, and because obviously you're going through the structure,
you're completely enclosed.
You have no idea whether you're upside down, you're sideways. You have you don't know where you are, and when you finally come back to being upright, it's like wow.
And then you can't even recover after that because you've got another couple of airtime hills before you go into the final inversion. I think the only thing that would have made this coaster a touch better is if they had a little bit more on the end, because like I say, you hit the brake run and you are slamming into your restraint because it's so much speed.
I did have to like put my hand out.
You could have easily had another couple of elements on there. But something that did strike me was how smooth this coaster is. It is so ridiculously smooth. There's no sort of rattling or bumps or swaying. It's just a ridiculously smooth coaster. The pacing throughout is so good. Obviously, it reaches a speed of about 70 miles an hour. Yes. And it just does not let up throughout the entire thing. You've got the stall where you're upside down for about 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's good. That's one of my favourite elements.
Again, all with a lap bar and the shin guard. And unfortunately, they were only running one train throughout the entire 2 days we were there. So in the afternoon of the second day, it did pick up a bit of a queue. That's the only reason we didn't go back to it. But we definitely would have, and we definitely will again one day, because EnergyLandia is a park we have to get back to.
When he says a bit of a queue, he means 20 minutes.
30 minutes it was on, actually. That's unacceptable for EnergyLandia.
That is nothing compared to the queues we have in the UK.
We could do a whole review on EnergyLandia, but we'd be sitting there for ages. Anyway, that brings us to the end of this video. We just thought we'd give you a quick ranking of our top 10 at EnergyLandia, and we hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, everyone's got a different list, and this is ours. So we hope you enjoyed the ride.
We'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.